particular job, several people looked at and turned it down. We got the chance on it. I wanted to do it. We kept part of it last November, then it turned off too wet. The biggest part of the timber, this is about a 300-acre farm. The biggest part of the timber is on the back side back here. It's hard to get to. Long drags, if you had to drag it. If you had a truck, you couldn't hardly get the truck through here. So, we improvised. Talked to the landowners. They were more than happy with us putting in a good road back here. This way we can drive the Star back here, load up this wide open walnut, and get it out. Because if you had to drag it, you'd be looking at 3/4 to possibly a mile drag all the way back here. It is a long ways. We're maybe halfway, but I doubt it. They've got 2 big hay fields back here, maybe 3. And you know, even for them, this will benefit them just as much as it will us. You can kind of see some of that white oak growing up here on the side of this hill. Some good trees up through there, all up through here. Of course, it goes down here in the bottom as well. And we cut a pretty good bunch of white oak off here last fall. Breaking roots off here. He's getting ready to take that little hickory tree out to kind of straighten that corner out a little bit. Part of what makes us so successful is just the people we surround ourselves with. I've got a really good group of friends. It's a small circle, but we all bring something to the table for each other. Just like Brandon here. Brandon does a lot of work for me. We grew up together. So of course he builds my log beds, any kind of welding fabrication we need done, Brandon does it. And then just like this, because a lot of jobs anymore, I have him come in and do dirt work. He's got his dozer, his skid steer, he's got a track hoe, and he's knowledgeable about it and does good work. Well, that's not my department. And it's cheaper for me to pay Brandon, somebody knows how to do something, come in here and do what he's good at, and I'm going to keep cutting logs and do what I'm good at. It's all about who you keep in your circle. Nice, good, wide, sweeping corner now. He's got a skid steer here as well. He'll come in here and he'll do the finish work with the skid steer, the fine tuning. Waiting to get the skid steer back. Waiting to get the forks for the Komatsu from the shop. I believe they're changing oil on it today. Until then, logs just continue to pile up until we can do some sorting here. We've got all kinds of different stuff, mainly walnut, white oak, but there's some pallet stuff too. Brandon should be here within the next week or so to start clearing all that stuff out there over to the property line. All this is going to be rocked right here. We've got a lot of rock on the way. All that's going to be rocked back there. We've been waiting on rock for a few weeks now, if not a month or better. Our main rock hauler, he was trying to get a late cut in the hay this fall. So that's all we've been waiting on rock. Works for Whistle and Diesel, doesn't it? Sounds like something's happening.
Keep an eye on that lock ring, okay? Is that happening? Is it leaking out the inside?
I don't think so. The inside looks like it's taken. I think it's taken. Yeah. That's why John is a trained professional.
Oh, good to see you there. Hiya, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. Yeah, it still needs some, but yeah, it's holding.
Yeah, that's good, though.
Good. Good. It's looking better. Still probably a little squishy and low, but better. So, the other day, in my awesomeness, I was playing around with this loader and I knew the tires were low, but I wasn't paying attention. And you can probably guess if I knocked the tire off. You can see the back tire is low. This tire over here is low, real low. Front tire is good though. But I've never said until the other day, I've never even ran a loader, so tinkering around, but John and I, but mainly John, was able to put the tire back on that loader using that Murphy's compound lube. And my buddy Norm is the one that kind of told us about it, because we were in a package full of gun grease. We had the right idea, we were just using the wrong stuff. But today Johnny serviced this, he changed the oil, changed all the filters. We got those in the other day, we added more hydraulic fluid, some brand hydraulic fluid. So this machine's really ready to go. We're just getting that fixed up. He's going to go ahead and air up the other tires, put some air in them. We don't have the right connector to the stem to check the pressure or anything, so we're just going to put some air in them to get them up, and then just until we get the new air chuck in and pressure gauge that'll work on that actual adapter. I don't know if I touched on it when we called. We sent in a serial number on this machine. It's I think it's an 06 model. It's a WA250 PT-5. I did learn that. The tool carrier, so it's got the hydraulic hook attach and plumbed for an auxiliary hydraulic up there. Again, I've been doing a little research on it, just trying to learn a little more about the machine. 28,219 on the weight. We've got a set of forks with a clam coming for it, so we'll make good on the yard with that. And then we just got to get it cleaned up a little bit.
Get that out of there.
She's real low. Again, we basically being ran hauled this thing back, and it's raining, so we parked it in here, and we really haven't done anything else with it. So I moved it from A to B, and it didn't take me long to realize that I'd knocked that tire off the bead. So I was like, man, I better get this inside. And I was really scared I was going to have to call in a tire truck to do it. I said, John used to work in a rock quarry. After we graduated high school, he worked at the quarry for about 4 or 5 years. So he's a little more familiar with these things. He was able to, with a pry bar, that Murphy's tire goop that you see right here. So with that, me running the pry bar, hammer, punch, because these are 2-piece wheels with a ring, and yeah, we were able to get it back on there. It's holding air. It does need cleaned up. I think once we get it washed, it'll look really good. We have a service the Ram today. We have a service the Komatsu. We're ready to hit the ground running and haul over the logs today. All kinds of awesome stuff. It's important for someone who knows what they're doing to run this. That way we kind of know if it's got any bugs that needs worked out. You guys know me, I like for things to work right whenever we have something to use. Said Johnny's been around those. I have not. Really, I was wanting the machine a little bigger than that, but it possibly still might in the future. Just kind of out here playing. That load of junk in this morning. That's about what it is, junk. Some tie logs in there, mainly pallet logs. A little under 3/4 of a load. And that's with some firewood pieces in there. I brought home some 3 and 4 foot pieces that we'll actually kind of put back in here in a pile over there. And that's what we'll use to kind of heat the shop when we get our wood stove here. We're going to have a larger wood stove that'll handle larger chunks of wood. Now we're not trying to just keep this thing nice and toasty. The main thing is just to kind of keep the chill knocked down. That's kind of our goal there. So it's not like we're trying to keep it 85 or 90 degrees in there with a wood stove, which I guess if you built a big enough stove, had the duct work, you could probably do it, but we're not too worried about that. Smoothing out some sand right now. A lot of this back through here is sand. One time they did casting in here, and I know nothing about casting, but I'm assuming in casting they use sand for a lot of stuff. And I think this is where they dumped said sand. All out through here, back through here. We've dumped some rock out here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to come back and maybe put some 3 or 4 inch back here to get this to hold up like we need it to. Up front, our rock's holding up really well, but we need something a little bigger back here. And we need to pack it in good. You can see we're having a lot of trouble with that. I know there'll be somebody that says, oh, you should use geomat. Yeah, well, we didn't, so how about that? But when we get the rest of these cottonwoods pushed out here, that'll give us quite a bit more room going that direction. Again, we've got a lot of rock to bring in here because all this will be rocked over through here because flatbeds will actually kind of circle in around the building when we have flatbeds come in or send flatbeds out, just because the turn coming in front of the shop building up there is kind of a little too sharp for pulling wagons if you're coming in from the north. South wouldn't be too bad, but north's probably a no-go. Reverse lights work. Changed the oil today. We actually took an oil sample from the oil we took out. We're going to send it off to see if it's showing any kind of shavings or brass in that oil. Let us know if we need to address anything in the near future.